Hi guys, I'm going to be doing a quick lab tour today. So I'm going to be showing you around my pepper lab so you can understand a bit better how I handle this project, how I document everything, and how everything's done. So just let me flip the camera and I'll be right back. Here we go. So basically, this is basically my earth, my soil storage area. So this is where I have my Promix BX, which I'm going to be using for one of my next tests that I'm going to run. I'm going to be running an indoor versus outdoor test. So this is what's going to be used for both indoor and outdoor to have the same soil. Here you can see that I have my calendar that I note what feed is done which day so that I know when I fed specific plants. Have my little knife set up here. You can see I have my Dalstrong knife here. Have my sleeves, protective sleeves, and I have my Samuel Lesal knife here, which I use to cut my peppers. This here is where my storage is for my seeds, containers, nutrients, containers down here too. So it's a bit of a mess, but that's how it is. And here is my small tent setup. So I have this light here on, which is basically just to light the space so I can show you and so I can observe, but I'm using these cheap Amazon lights that I'm eventually going to replace and that are usually hung much lower. This is just for the purpose of this video. So here you can see there's these orange pots and there's these green, dark green pots. So these are basically one each variety of plant, and these are copies of the exact same variety. So this is going to be indoor, this is going to be outdoor, and this is the test I'm going to run. So both of these the pair of these groups are going to be potted in the same type pot, same size, same soil, same nutrients, same everything. These have been topped, so these will be topped. Some of them have been topped today. Everything is going to be the same for both pairs, both groups, I mean, and the only difference basically is this is going to be indoors in a controlled environment under LED lights, and this is going to be outdoors under the sun, uncontrolled environment. So I'm going to see the difference, like what does the sun do better and what does a controlled environment do better. So basically we have here pink Taj Mahal, we have Rocks of Black Lantern, white Fatali, Dragon Breath Cross, and hot purple, and same thing here. So exact copies here. So this is how I work here, and these are all in this controlled environment to start them off with the lights, the humidity here that is connected to this sensor, and the controller, the humidity controller that's up there. So that humidity controller basically tells my humidifier when to run. I have this dehumidifier to just maintain it below 60 as much as possible, or as close to 60% as possible during nighttime, and below 60 during the day usually. That's how it pretty much operates. And I have my temperature controller here, which is plugged to the mat here, heat mat, which is basically I have a pepper in a can started here, Sugar Rush Peach. I'm waiting for it to germinate, so it has a temperature probe inside. I wrap the heat mat around it to control the heat better all around the soil of the can, and this plastic glass dome that I put over it. So I'm waiting for it to germinate, and I have this rescue test, which is basically a dead or almost dead Genghis Khan brain that is cut down to the bare stem because everything fell off, and I'm trying to dip the roots in this fertilizer nutrient solution and see if it takes off again or if it just stays dead. So I'm hoping maybe it might come back, but we never know. So this is this small setup here with my fans that run 22 hours a day. They take a break, 2-hour break during the night. After this, we come over here where I have my white box set up. It's basically a custom box that I made out of wood, painted it white. Here are some flowering plants, so I hook this up to the ceiling with these straps, and you can see that the Meanwell driver that's here controlling the lights is raised and cooled by a computer fan, because I don't like how hot these things run, and to maintain a longer lifespan I cool them off with a fan. So I have the fan here that's basically plugged into the PC power supply that's been jury rigged to run without the motherboard, And I have the other controller for the other lights here, which is also hooked to a fan that is plugged on the same timer as the lights. So these lights here are Fitzrovia 90 watt lights, full spectrum for these. And I have under these a Black Panther plant, which is absolutely huge and starting to produce some pods. You can see like some pods dangling in a few places, but they're really hard to find because they like to hide. And I have an orange Scotch bonnet here, which is also starting to produce, but it's so massively thick that I can't really show you right now with one hand holding the camera. But this is another nice plant, and the Sensor Push Tech sensors, which I'll try and integrate maybe a small clip of the screen to show you a bit how it collects data and what it looks like. And alright guys, so this is basically a demo of the Sensor Push. So I show you the sensor, and this is what the app looks like. So when I open the app, Sensor Push app, you can see that I have my both boxes identified which sensor is doing what. And you can see that it's showing temperature, current humidity, barometric pressure, what the dew point is, and what the VPD is. And you can always see if it's rising or falling, and if it's within the maximums and minimums that I set up. So you can see that for both in real time. And if I click on one, you can see that I can get graphs by hour. So minimum of 22.6, maximum of 23.2, and the variations in between for the last hour for every setting. And you can see also at the bottom which model, number of samples saved, last seen, battery voltage, and everything. And you can export as CSV as well. And then you can get same thing per day, per week, per month, and per year. So they're fairly new, so I don't have much data on this part. So these are the different views you can get, and the settings. Well, you can see that you can set high limit, low limit. You can set up alerts, change the name, calibrate it. So this is basically how precise these are. So it's pretty amazing. This here is an Aloha Enjoya bell pepper, basically, that I'm trying to germinate with little success. I think the seeds are dead, but Aloha Enjoya is basically a large bell pepper that has stripes, so orange and peach and reddish stripes on it. Beautiful pepper, but my seeds, I don't think they're still good. And this is a tomato plant that I've been having fun with since autumn that has produced twice already, and just keeping it alive for outside. This other setup here is with 4000K lights and plus 660 NM lights, basically. The Fitzrovia as well, 90 watt. And I have under here a KS Peach Starkist. I have Chocolate Bootlaw. I have Kangstar Scarlet Rose, and a recovering Kangstar Sriracha Pumpkin, which I'm hoping will come back to life, because I don't know what happened, but it started losing all its leaves and stopped growing. So we'll see what happens there. I have this guy here, which is a Kangstar Lemon Starburst, which has a copy here, a Kangstar Lemon Starburst, but a different seed source, and another Kangstar Lemon Starburst from another seed source here, which is basically the plant you've been seeing, the peppers I've been showing recently. It's from this one. It's the first one to start mature, so this is the first one I'm harvesting, but these are starting to produce too. And I have in a 5-ounce bottle here, 5-ounce bottle test, the 7-pot Lucy. And you can also see that I have my garden plants here. So we have sugar snap peas, I have some sunflowers, I have some yellow beans, green beans, bit of lettuce back there, you can see through the jungle. A lot of tomato. I have an orange bell right there, back there, some more tomatoes there, and some cucumbers and pumpkins. So that's basically my setup here. And if I come and show you, this is where I do my research. So as you can see, I have this Excel file built up where I list all the peppers. Oh, I'm not on the right page. Sorry. Okay, so in the worksheet here, I list all the peppers that I know about owned or not, and you can see the list can be quite exhaustive. And in this list, what I do is I serial number everything. So basically 7-Pot Lucy, serial number 5. So if I go into my seed cases, number 5 is 7-Pot Lucy. And you can see I have the variety, species, do I own the seeds or not. Oh, sorry, my screen just skipped forward too fast. So what species is it? Do I own the seeds? What's the source? Who provided them? Are they isolated or not? Do I know? Have they been planted? Are they destined for indoor, outdoor? What method? Pot size? Grow stage? Yeah, the idea. So I document really everything. Document what I've tried with them. So has a pepper been tasted, review written, research done, photos, when has it been planted, how long has it been since it was planted, time to sprout, time to flower, time to fruit, time to ripen, height, width of the plant at the end of its life, number of pods harvested, average length, average width, and transition to ripe, the color transition to ripe. And I can add some additional links here, and you get other tabs that I use here too. So I have this feed chart where I can basically just follow each plant with how old they are in weeks, what stage they're in, how many weeks have they been on that stage, and I can just basically add like amounts of liters for different plants and get their feed totals per plant. But I can also get like feed totals per batch. So rooting batch, vegetative batch, generative batch, and I know how many liters total and what to put in it. And then you get basically each pepper that I harvest is documented here. So this is King Star Lemon Starburst, and from that specific plant I've harvested 10 pods. These are the sizes, these are the stages, and you get the averages here. So that's what happened basically with every single plant I grow, and you can see that I do it for every single pod. These Chinese 5 colors went up to 105 pods. Every single pod was documented, measured. So that's how I operate with this file here, and you can see that I have my writing space here where I have like basically all my documents that I've written about. So I've written about the black jalapeno here in this document, and you can all my photos go here, and you have all the data that I collect in these specific files. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed this video. I went a bit more detail about how I do my research, how I operate in my lab, and how I set up my different areas. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I might do another of these videos down the road. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you. Have a good day.